They say pets are family, but what if the one scratching at your door in the dead of night isn't really your pet? Welcome to Hey Spooky, where tonight, we're sinking into a story that will make you look twice at the animals you love. A story about disappearance, return, and something that feels terribly wrong. Chapter 1. The Disappearance. The house always felt warmer with Milo in it. He wasn't just a pet. He was the kind of dog who'd curl up beside you and sigh in that way that made the silence feel safe. Every evening, when the sun sank, he'd be waiting at the gate, tail wagging like clockwork. Until the night, he didn't come home. It was late autumn, the kind of evening when the air had a bite to it. I called his name from the porch. Milo. My voice echoed down the empty street. No jingle of a collar. No answering bark. Just the sound of the wind brushing dead leaves across the sidewalk. At first, I thought he'd wandered off, maybe chasing a rabbit into the woods behind the house. But as hours turned into a full night, dread began to seep into my bones. I walked the neighborhood with a flashlight. Checked every alley, every yard. Nothing. The next morning, I printed posters and asked neighbors. Every answer was the same. No. Sorry, haven't seen him. Days passed. Nights grew quieter, emptier. By the end of the week, I had to admit the truth. Milo was gone. In those lonely nights, I sometimes swore I heard scratching at the walls. Not loud, not frantic, just faint. Like claws dragging on wood. I told myself it was just rats. But deep down, something inside whispered, Milo wanted to come home. Chapter 2. The Return. It was exactly 7 nights after he vanished when I woke to a sound. Scratch, scratch, scratch. At first, I thought it was a dream. My eyes blinked open to the glow of the digital clock, 3:07 a.m. The house was silent, except for that sound. I sat up, listening. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Not from the walls this time. From the front door. Hard hammering. I slipped out of bed and crept down the hallway. The scratching grew louder, more urgent. Then, a soft whine. Milo. I rushed to the door, flipped the lock, and pulled it open. There he was, sitting on the porch, thinner and dirtier, but it was him. My chest broke open with relief. I dropped to my knees. Milo, you're home. He padded forward slowly, tail wagging once, then twice. But there was something odd about the way he moved, stiff, deliberate, like every step was measured. I didn't care. Tears blurred my vision as I wrapped my arms around him, pressing my face into his fur. He smelled different, like damp earth and something metallic. But he was here. That was all that mattered. As he settled at the foot of my bed, I couldn't shake one thought. Why had he only come back in the dead of night? Chapter 3. The Change. The first few days felt like a dream. But soon, little things began to trouble me. Milo didn't respond to his name right away. I'd call, and there'd be a pause, too long, before he turned his head, as if he was remembering that Milo was supposed to be his name. And he was silent, utterly silent. The mailman would come, a car would backfire down the street. Events that would have sent the real Milo into a frenzy of barking. This thing, it didn't make a sound. It would just tilt its head, watching with an unnerving stillness. Sometimes, I'd wake in the night and find him sitting in the hallway, facing the wall, completely still. Not asleep, just sitting there, ears twitching, as if listening to something I couldn't hear. Even touching him felt wrong. His fur was coarse, almost waxy, and his skin beneath felt cool, even in the warm house. One night, I woke to the scratching again. I followed the sound until I found him in front of the locked basement door, pawing at it slowly. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Milo, I whispered. His head turned toward me. Slowly, too slowly. And for just a second, in the dim hallway light, his shadow on the wall didn't look like a dog's at all. The next day, I went to the basement door. I didn't open it. I just knelt and smelled the crack at the bottom. The air that seeped out wasn't musty. It smelled of rich, wet soil. The smell of a freshly dug grave. Chapter 4. The Revelation. I had to know. That afternoon, I went to the woods where he'd first gone missing. The forest was suffocatingly quiet. No birds, no rustling, just silence. And that's where I found it. Buried beneath a pile of leaves, half decayed, was a collar. Milo's collar. The real one, with the little bell and the metal tag. The engraving tarnished, but still clear. My blood ran cold. If this was here, then what had I let into my home? That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed, pretending, while the thing lay at the foot. At 3 a.m. sharp, its head lifted. Slowly, it stood and moved toward the mirror on the wall. I held my breath. It stopped in front of the glass, and I saw it. Its reflection didn't move. The thing in my room tilted its head left. The reflection stayed perfectly still, staring back. It raised a paw. The reflection stared back, its eyes glowing faintly golden, its lips curling into something that wasn't a snarl, wasn't a smile, but something terribly, terribly wrong. Chapter 5, the ending. The next morning, I packed a bag. I didn't lock the door. I didn't say goodbye. I left the thing that wore Milo's skin behind. But sometimes, when the night is too quiet, I still hear it. Scratch, scratch, scratch. At my door, at my window, in my dreams. And I wonder, how long until it finds me again?